Hey everyone, it's Supercar, and today we're diving deep into the world of budget SUVs with the Dacia Duster 2025. The Duster has earned a reputation for being a practical and affordable option in a sea of overpriced crossovers. But like every car, it's not perfect. We're going to take a closer look at the Duster 2025, examining its features, performance, and overall value to uncover this potential deal-breaker. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what Dacia nailed with the Duster and more importantly, where they might have missed the mark. So, buckle up and get ready for a detailed review of the Dacia Duster 2025. Alright folks, let's cut to the chase. Today we're diving into a topic that might surprise some of you. When you think about a budget SUV, you expect some compromises, right? Maybe a few corners cut here and there to keep the price down. Maybe the materials aren't as plush or the technology isn't as cutting edge. You might even expect a bit of road noise or a less refined ride. But there's one thing you don't expect to be compromised, and that's practicality. After all, an SUV is supposed to be versatile and family-friendly. And unfortunately, that's exactly where the Dacia Duster 2025 stumbles. It's a glaring flaw that can't be ignored. Now I know what you're thinking, Doug, how can a budget SUV be impractical? Isn't practicality the whole point of an SUV? Well, let me tell you, it all comes down to one crucial element, cargo space. This is where the Duster really lets us down. On paper, the Duster boasts a decent cargo area, but in reality, it's surprisingly shallow. Like, seriously shallow. You'd be shocked at how little it can hold. We're talking barely enough room for a week's worth of groceries, let alone anything larger. Forget about packing for a family vacation. I'm not sure what Dacia was thinking here. It's almost as if they overlooked the primary reason people buy SUVs. Did they forget that people buy SUVs for their practicality? It's a fundamental aspect that should never be compromised. Did they assume everyone using this car would be single and living in a studio apartment? It's a baffling design choice. It's baffling to say the least. The lack of cargo space is a deal-breaker for many potential buyers. The shallow cargo area is a direct result of the Duster's sloping roofline, which was clearly prioritized for aesthetics over functionality. Look, I get it. Dacia wants the Duster to look sleek and modern, but not at the expense of practicality. A balance must be struck. This is a huge misstep, especially for a vehicle marketed towards families and adventurers. These are the people who need space the most. The biggest mistake Dacia made with the Duster 2025, sacrificing cargo space for style. It's a lesson in what not to do when designing an SUV. Alright, let's step inside the Dacia Duster 2025 and see what we're working with. The first thing you'll notice is the overall layout, which is quite practical and user-friendly. Now I've got to hand it to Dacia, they've done a decent job of making the interior feel more upscale than its price tag might suggest. The materials are surprisingly nice with soft-touch surfaces in all the right places. You can tell they've put thought into the tactile experience, but then you start looking a little closer and that's where things get a bit interesting. Some design choices are quite unconventional. Take the infotainment system for example. It's a decent size and fairly responsive, but the placement is just odd. It's not where you'd naturally expect it to be. It's angled slightly downwards, which makes it feel like you're looking down at it instead of straight ahead. This can be a bit distracting while driving. And then there's the climate control system. Instead of using traditional knobs or buttons, Dacia opted for these weird little toggles. They look modern but can be a bit fiddly. They look kinda cool, but they're not exactly intuitive to use. You might find yourself fumbling with them more than you'd like. These quirky design choices might seem minor, but they can become real annoyances in everyday driving. Over time, these small inconveniences can add up, affecting the overall driving experience. Okay, let's talk performance. Now I know what you're thinking. Doug, this is a budget SUV. We're not expecting a rocket ship, and you'd be right. But that doesn't mean the Duster 2025 can't be fun to drive. Under the hood, you've got a choice between a few different engines, including a peppy little turbocharged gasoline engine and a more fuel-efficient diesel option. I spent most of my time with the gasoline engine, and I have to say, it's surprisingly zippy. It's not going to win any drag races, but it's got enough power to get you up to speed without too much drama. And the handling is actually pretty decent for an SUV. It feels planted in corners and there's not too much body roll. Overall, the Duster 2025 is a perfectly capable performer for everyday driving. Alright, let's talk safety. It's a crucial aspect that can never be overlooked, especially when it comes to family vehicles. Now this is one area where you don't want to skimp, even on a budget-friendly vehicle. Safety should always be a top priority, regardless of the price tag. So how does the Dacia Duster 2025 stack up in this critical department? Let's dive into the specifics. Well, the good news is that it comes standard with a decent suite of safety features, including automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, and blind spot monitoring. These features are designed to prevent accidents and keep you safe on the road. These are all great features to have, especially in a vehicle that's likely to be driven by families. They provide an extra layer of security and peace of mind. However, there are a couple of areas where the Duster's safety tech falls a bit short. It's important to be aware of these limitations. For example, the adaptive cruise control system, which is optional on some trims, is a bit slow to react. This can be frustrating and potentially dangerous in fast-paced driving conditions. And the lane-keeping assist system, while helpful, can be a bit intrusive at times. It might overcorrect or be too sensitive, which can be annoying for some drivers. So, while the Duster 2025 isn't a safety slouch by any means, it's not exactly a leader in this department either. It offers a mix of solid features and some that need improvement. It's a bit of a mixed bag, which is a bit disappointing. Buyers should weigh these pros and cons carefully when considering the Duster 2025. Alright, let's talk about the bottom line. Value. The Dacia Duster 2025 is positioned as a budget-friendly SUV, but is it really a good value for your money? Well, on paper, it certainly seems like it. It undercuts many of its rivals on price, and it comes standard with a decent amount of equipment. But as we've seen throughout this review, there are some compromises that come with that low price tag. The interior, while surprisingly upscale in some areas, is let down by some questionable design choices. The performance is adequate but not inspiring, and while the safety features are decent, they're not exactly cutting edge. So, is the Duster 2025 a good value? Well, that depends on your priorities. So, there you have it, the Dacia Duster 2025. It's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? On the one hand, it's an affordable and practical SUV that offers a lot of value for the money. It's got a decent amount of space for passengers and cargo, it's relatively fuel efficient, and it comes with a decent amount of standard equipment. But, on the other hand, it's not without its flaws. The interior design is a bit quirky, the performance is adequate but not inspiring. And the safety technology, while decent, isn't exactly cutting edge. If you're looking for a cheap and cheerful SUV that will get you from A to B without any fuss, then sure, the Duster is worth considering. But if you're looking for something a bit more special, something that you'll actually enjoy driving, then I'd suggest looking elsewhere. So, guys, that's the Dacia Duster. It's kind of like that friend who's always got your back, always down for an adventure, but maybe doesn't always make the best decisions. You know, the one who shows up to a black tie event in cargo shorts. It's got its quirks, but it's hard not to appreciate its honesty. It's a budget SUV, and it owns it. But, the question is that enough? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.